Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Damn, Clay Bigsby, I read this comment too late. And Clay Bigsby says, before you start, check out the video by Matt Walsh did on Black Women BS. Oh man, okay, so I'll check it out. My apologies. I started to, my apologies, Clay Bigsby. I'll check it out once this stream ends. So we're gonna start this stream actually not speaking about the subject matter and white men saying love who you love, dear black women. A message once again showing y'all backside for white men, and they're not impressed. They're not impressed. So let's start off by shouting out BGS and more. BGS beat me to the punch. Goddamn. So first, good morning, everyone. Good morning. And BGS beat me to the punch. So Yvette Carnell put out a piece of her Patreon stream that's about 30 or so minutes long. I suggest you guys check it out. I think y'all will be pleasantly surprised for many of you who haven't followed Yvette Carnell. So let me spend a few minutes speaking about this first before we get to the topic. Yvette Carnell has been saying this for a very long time. For those of you that already checked out BGS's video, where he, clips out about 2 or 3 minutes of Yvette Carnell speaking about the plight of black men and how black women ignored the plight of black men for 30 years, right? And how there are black women that are saying, because of Brickgate, they're like, oh, we don't have a community, right? Where's the community? And Yvette Carnell went on a tear. She essentially said, y'all weren't saying that for the 30 years. Y'all allowed your sons, your fathers, your uncles, your brothers to be locked up. And she essentially, Yvette has said this on stage before a few years ago, some 3 or 4 years ago at this point, maybe even longer than that. Yvette has said this before. So this is not something that she just, leaves on her channel now. Mr. Z's not ADOS or FBA. So I'm careful, but I understand for a lot of us, it's going to be off-putting to see this, same-sex loving black woman with a crisper tape line than, Mr. Z's balls. So a more crisp tape line than many of us who do have hair. I get it, but I think y'all will be surprised to hear, this type of sentiment coming from a black woman, a LGBTQ black woman. Train tracks. Yvette Carnell has stood up for black men in front of black women, right, on stage. So, she's literally out of her own mouth. You judge where the black community is based off on how black men are doing, and black men are not doing well. And she's called the black community, black men, the sin eaters of America. She's her words. So I'll shout her out for that. I'm not going to say I align with her politics 100. This is not about kissing her rear end, but this is saying, like, I know it might be off-putting for some people because, it's clear what her sexuality is, but she does not put her sexuality above her race politics and her advocacy for ADOS. Not from what I've seen, right? And when her channel really started to blow up post 2016 election, I was there for a few years, every single show she put out, and not one time did I hear a comment where she berated or insulted black men, right? So I will say, at least from what I experienced, now maybe she put out something over the past few years that I didn't see, but at least when I was watching, nothing to suggest that. So I'm not gonna delve too much into the beef that her and a certain Hidden Colors producer had, but when it was implied that her and Tone would take the movement and make it about LGBTQ, I completely rejected that because I didn't see nothing that would give me that impression. Nothing, not from her and not from him, right? So as a matter of fact, she had a couple of streams going in on the LGBTQ movement and how they hijacked much of the black movement. She has videos and episodes going in on the feminists and how they hijacked the movement, right? The Black Power movement. So I'll just say that. I'll just put that out there. So yeah, so you know, Detroit said, ain't she the woman that went against Boyce Watkins? Yes. And she goes against Boyce Watkins because for her, Boyce Watkins, at least, from my take of what she's saying, Boyce Watkins doesn't fully appreciate the mechanisms that are against Black people. And it's a lot of hoping and wishing and praying economics, right? It's not real Black economics. It's like motivational speech economics, right? And at least that's what I'm getting from her critique of Boyce's stance on Black economics. And I think it's a don't compare us to other people because other people have had structural mechanisms to put them where they are, right? So and to think that Black people are going to be able to like lift themselves up by their bootstraps in a vacuum with the current mechanisms that are in place is naive. At least that's what I read from Yvette and Antonio Moore, their critique of Boyce Watkins, and to some extension, if we're going to be honest, some of Dr. Claude Anderson. Now, if y'all want to critique her on, one thing that I will give Yvette and Tone is that I don't think they appreciate, and I don't appreciate the way they speak to people that are not as well versed as them. There is a way that they, especially for Tone, they just dismiss, outhand, like, you don't know what you're talking about. And they're right. Like, oftentimes these people don't know, but there is this kind of like, stop talking, right? And they do that to the elders. Yvette did do some of that to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. And that's much of what her death knell was for a lot of people, is this kind of like going at the elders. And I think you need to be careful when you critique the elders, even if you feel they're on the wrong side of history or they got something wrong a little bit. I think you got to be careful because you have to understand how they loom in the imagination of other Black people, especially when they mean well, number one. And number two, especially when you don't have the gravitas, you don't have the name recognition, right? So if you're going to critique Dr. Frances Cress Welsing and Dr. Claude Anderson, you have to be careful how you go about that. And if you come off too abrasive, then it's easy to dismiss you, even if on this one particular thing, you're more correct than they are, right? And I think Yvette and Tone, particularly Yvette in this case, don't do a good job in that. I do think they have valid critiques, particularly of Dr. Boyce. I keep on saying Dr. Boyce, but Dr. Claude Anderson. Not so much Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, but of Dr. Claude Anderson. But I think the way they went about it, particularly, you have to understand and appreciate where Black people find themselves economically, because I think they're really good at that. But then what that means for Black people with like someone to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and how Dr. Claude Anderson speaks to that, because it feels good to hear that we could do it in spite of, with no help whatsoever, right? It feels good to like hear that, especially as a man, right? Hearing a elder say, "Yeah, man, like if we follow this, 10-point plan, we'll be good and we won't need the government, and we can do it in a vacuum." And it feels good to hear that, or at least if you feel like that's what you're hearing from Dr. Claude Anderson. And I don't think Yvette and Tone, because they're coming with the numbers and the data and the research papers and the articles, I don't think they fully appreciate and give too much thought to the way people feel because of our economic situation as Black people in general, and then ADOS specifically. And I think when they kind of dismiss outhand Dr. Claude Anderson, I think it's off-putting to too many people. especially because Dr. Claude Anderson is the bigger name, and he's been doing this for decades. Um, and I think that's where they get in. That's when they get into trouble with people like you know Jason Black, because Jason Black is a stomp down, 10 toes down black capitalist, right? And that's when you get into trouble with someone like a Jason Black, the Black Authority, because he want to hear stuff like what Dr. Claude Anderson is saying. Even though he is for reparations, but people like that want to hear, that type of stuff. And let's be very clear, these people want to be the petite bourgeoisie of the black community if they're not already. They want to be the people, they do believe like white elites should talk to them and not you. White elites should talk to them. They should be the face of the black community, and it should be them as black elites talking to the white elites, and like they figure out the race question. And when you see someone like Tone and definitely Yvette come in and like be the fly and the buttermilk, talking, this kind of black socialist thing, yeah, that's not good for business for them. So of course, they're going to be anti Yvette and Tone. So yeah, you know, BGS covering Yvette's, critique of black women and of the larger black community in the face of Brickgate, and speaking about how black men have had to bear the cost for the larger portion of anti-blackness racism. I gotta applaud her on that. So you when they're wrong, we critique them, but when they're right, you're right. You're right. And on this thing, Yvette is correct, and she did a good job breaking it down. Now, you have to understand, Yvette, even when Army Osei Frimpong was still with Yvette even lamented how little female subscribers she had at the time, and she understood why. She implied that she understood why. She knew that, because I'm not, and as a matter of fact, a black woman called in on that show to tell her why, like, you ain't speaking to us. And Yvette was like, but we have so many black women that speak to our politics. Why do I have to be another black woman that centers us, right? And another word, and I want to be very clear, the black woman that called in was chastising Yvette for not kissing black women's ass. Like, not centering black women and black politics for the 1 zillionth time, right? And I want to be very clear, like when they say decenter black men or decenter men, and like when you see BLM kind of have that as some portion of their mission statement, let's be very clear what everyone is saying. Too much of black politics center men because they're the face of death. You understand how like deranged you have to be jealous of your brother's death? Do you know how jealous you have to be, how deranged you have to be jealous of your father's death, of your brother's death, of your guy cousin's death, of your uncle's death, that you want to be the center of attention in that? First of all, how much it would be one thing if their death, if the media speaking about 3 or 4 or 5 black men a year, when we have a couple hundred that die at the hands of the authorities, and then how many that die at the hands of some racist white vigilante, right? It'd be one thing if that coverage actually meant that there would be less black men to be killed by these people's hands, but it doesn't. So your jealousy is a jealousy of recognition. Are you serious? Right? Are you serious? So, and y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So, that's what the young lady called in to Yvette to kind of give her a critique on, right? And this was years and years and years ago. This is maybe 2017 era, right? 2017, maybe 2018 era. This is when, like I said, Army Osei Frimpong was still with Yvette back then, right? So now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. That's about 15 minutes on this topic. Now let's get to the good stuff. Once again, so this is not even this is not the same video from years ago with the other chubby white dude that was in his room talking about, black women, I'm just a regular person, like I'm not better than black men. As a matter of fact, there's a whole lot of black men that are better than me. This is not even that video from a few years ago that we remember, right? And if I recall correctly, that white man was wearing a white shirt. I mean, excuse me, a blue shirt. A blue shirt. This white man is wearing a white shirt. But yeah, so once again, we have another video of a white man telling black women, yeah, y'all can stop kissing my rear end and other white men's rear end. We're just normal people, and y'all sound weird, right? So white women are picking up on game, right? And by the way, someone was supposed to send me, and I'm gonna check my email. Someone was supposed to send me a video. Oh no! My bad. It was my girl. I was about to get on y'all. It was my girl that told me about a video of a black woman trying to criticize the white chick with the tattoo from the neck down, with the tattoos from the neck down. Speaking on this Roe and the big lie, right? Britgate. My girl found a video that she's supposed to send me, and I think she already did. I just didn't check it out yet. Of a black woman saying it's always been white women and black men tag teaming black women. Oh boy. I told y'all they hate white women and black men because they want to be white women, and black men haven't made them. They want to be politically and socially white women, right? So now they telling you, oh, white women and black men have always tag team us. Oh boy. Oh, Detroit, it was you? Okay, my girl and me spoke about it last night also. Right, my girl and me spoke about it last night also. So yeah, so let's talk about it. Dear black women, I said it over a year ago. Y'all are being too loud. I said it over a year ago that these politics will not work for you, and what's going to happen is you are going to get exploited. And I want to be very clear. I know some of you are okay with being exploited, but it's going to be an exploitation that's not actually even beneficial for you and other black women. Right? That's not actually beneficial for you and other black women. That's embarrassing. You are going to be exploited by black men and black women. Oh, before we finish that subject, the reason why what Yvette was saying was important. I know I just switched right back to the first subject. It's because she was critiquing black women and black people in black intelligentsia who feel a certain way about black men going more and more to the right and considering voting for Trump. She was critiquing them and saying, yeah, why wouldn't they? What have the Democrats, what have black women, what has the left offered black men over the past 30 years? So yes, Yvette Carnell, all of you that keep on calling her a Democratic shill, is saying, yeah, why wouldn't black men vote to the right? What has the Democrats and the left offered them over the past 30 years? So I think it's very important that I say that part. So that was very important that I mentioned that so y'all could to put in context her critique of black women, the left, and them having an issue with black men, being courted by the right, and she admits that neither one of the parties is really going to do anything for black men or black women. But if the left has nothing to offer and refuses to say the words black men and say what they're going to do for black men and why the black male vote is important, and she mentions, Steve Bannon saying, yeah, pretty much if we can break up the black vote. And as y'all heard Mr. Z say, I told y'all the black vote is important and is powerful because it's cohesive. Once you start to fracture the black vote, it loses its power. And the Republicans win, by default, because the black vote is important for the Democratic Party. I said it before, the black male vote is the wedge vote. You break the black male vote from the black women vote, and neither one of them get much of anything. Because the reason why black women get something from the Democrats is because they could corral black men, right? And the Republicans ain't going to do nothing for black men either, so there you go. Okay, back to the subject at hand. It's important that we cover these type of stories of white society, white men, white women saying to black women, we see you. Right? Because there's this notion, and I say it all the time, right? there's this notion in the Black community that Black Twitter is a real place and that other people can't see what we're saying. They can't view our discourse. They can't read what we're typing to each other, right? There's this idea in the Black community that non-Black people don't understand and see the internal politics of the Black community, right? There's this idea from Black people that that's not a thing, right? And I think it's important to let people know that other people see how you're moving. Black people need to know other people are aware, right? Obviously, not to day-to-day operations of the Black community and the absolute most, crucial details, but they understand the gist of what's going on. I said to y'all already, I had the Harry Potter looking dude that was more suave than Harry Potter, but the Harry Potter looking white guy that I used to work with that straight up said to me, yeah, certain Black women think that white guys are kind of, limp wristed because they can't have us, so they got to tell themselves something. They can't get us. This guy didn't have a bunch of Black male friends. He didn't really have any Black male friends like that. But he was able to glean that from his, at the time, 25-ish years of life, 26-ish years of life. Right? They understand their position in this society. They understand. And so when you have a video like this where the white guy is pretty much saying like, all right, Black women, I get it, but can you just love who you love and not throw Black men under the bus? Like literally stop throwing Black men under the bus to prove something to white men like me. And super duper, I think you're right that we put our effery on display, but I think also there's a magnifying glass on Black dysfunction. People get off on Black dysfunction. Latinos are all in our mix, bro. White folks that care anything about urban culture, even if they're living in the burbs and living their square ass life, they understand. They're paying attention to urban culture because it's entertaining. And I put urban in quotes, I really mean Black. For the most part, I really mean Black. And Black women have been, I said it, when y'all were dancing on Kobe Bryant's grave simply because he wasn't married to a Black woman, and white folks got to see that, do you understand what that, screw what it did to Black men, do you understand what that meant for Black women? To show you being that callous? You think there weren't white folks reading your comments saying, yeah, that's good that B word Vanessa got to bury her husband and her wife? That B word Vanessa got the life insurance money? All y'all cared about was the life insurance money? Right? Why do y'all think white people and Latino people and South Asian people and East Asian people don't know what's going on in Black America? Y'all are so loud. Y'all were wishing death on Jamie Foxx. Y'all got Cynthia G out here saying abort Black male babies. You have white men that Vincent LeBeau is informing that Black women want to be with, and those white men are like, yeah, they might be a little too social justice warrior. Essentially, those white men are saying, I need them to be even more anti-Black. For me to date a Black woman, she got to have no social justice spirit whatsoever, and I need her to be extremely anti-Black. I need her to prove to me that she'll be down with my white racist program. So when she sees what happened to Trayvon Martin, when she sees what happened to Jordan Russell Davis, she better not shed a tear. She better not ask me nothing. She better not look like she's concerned. Essentially, be Paris Milan dancing on Terry Nichols' grave. right? The white people know, dear black women, white men know. Gary Owens made a blink and you'll miss it side comment on his stand-up years and years ago when he was obviously still married to his black ex-wife at this point, but he made a blink and you'll miss it side comment. Like, oh, I know, y'all people think, black woman, white man, I'm the one with the money and the status and blah, blah, blah. But my people are from trailer parks. Her family is the family of prestige. Gary Owens said that. Right? Paul Wall has spoke about how black women be looking at him and his wife like all relationship goals. And the undertone of it is, I know it's race related. Not because we're a happy family, but it's race related. It's because I'm a white man loving on a black woman. The white men know black women. Y'all are loud as hell. And I know you think you're embarrassing black men, but you're really embarrassing yourself and playing yourself because you're letting the DJ Diplos know they could come and prey on you. P-R-E-Y prey on you. You're letting the DJ Popes know they could prey on you. You're letting the Kid Rocks know they could prey on you. Right? You're letting the Machine Gun Kellys know they could prey on you. Mess with you when they're in the hood and they don't really got no options like that. And the second they get on, they don't touch another black woman again. Right? You're letting the both of Halle Berry ex-husbands, white ex-boyfriends and husbands, know they could prey on you. Y'all are loud as hell. What you think you're telegraphing when you have entire ABC specials with Steve Harvey and a whole auditorium of women speaking about, oh, we're struggling to find black women, excuse me, a whole auditorium of black women talking about, but black men are not on a level. We're struggling to meet black men. We're struggling with men. What do you think? Right? When you have CNN specials showing 3 or 4 or 5 black women struggling to meet men, and then the light-skinned sister talking about, yeah, I was looking at this white man at the bar and he was looking at me, and he just never made the move, and etc. etc. Y'all not embarrassed? I know y'all think y'all embarrassing black men. You're not. You're embarrassing dear black women, you're embarrassing yourselves. You're looking desperate. You think Thaddeus Russell don't know? Thaddeus Russell's a white man. He used to be a professor. He was on Joe Rogan not recently, years and years ago, and he spoke about the what's going on, all the details in the black community, because I think he's a white professor of Africana studies, so he know all the little ins and out, and he know a lot of history that most black people don't know. And he was kind of celebrating affirmative action being repealed. So yeah, he's one of those, right? So black women, yeah, white people are in the know. White men are in the know. Your Lord and Savior, white Jesus, right? They're in the know. And I know you think you're you ever give somebody a warning, or you like, hey, all right now, I know you don't mess with me. I know, I get it, but I'm telling you, this ain't gonna look good for you. You think you're gonna spite me. You're gonna hurt yourself. You might actually make me look good. Dear black women, you got to run the yard in the conversation pre-internet, because white racist left media and white racist white media, really the left, but white racist left media and white racist white media put the microphone in your face. You don't have that environment anymore. The internet has democratized the town square. You don't have that environment anymore. And y'all are too damn loud on the internet, on social media, about your disdain for black men. So back in the day where you could run the yard with the conversation, because the left would put the microphone in your face, not because they actually believed in you or believed you, but to fracture the black community and to manipulate the internal politics of the black community. You don't have that environment anymore. Yeah, they still want to fracture the black community, but you don't have the environment where you run the yard with the narrative. You're not there anymore. Right? So you're screwing yourself. You're not screwing black men. I know you want to. Right? You're too damn loud. As Mr. Z said years when Asia Maynard, what happened with her, we still, from my understanding, we still don't know necessarily. I said it then that y'all were too damn loud. Right? And that's unfortunate. You think you're embarrassing black men when you're embarrassing yourself, and you even got white men once again. So y'all try to lie on white men's penis. Oh, when you start dating a white man, he gets your nails done and he'll pay for your hair to get done, and then you got 6, 7, 8 white men descending on your Twitter thread like, who you talking about? Not me, not none of my friends. That's not embarrassing. Then periodically you have videos with white men telling you, hey, black women, just love who you love, but do you got to throw black men under the bus? That's not embarrassing to you? It's not embarrassing that you have white women chuckling when they're told what y'all are saying on the internet? When Shay Sade showed this white grandmother, or when she tells this white grandmother what you're saying, you don't think it's embarrassing? You don't feel embarrassed to watch this white grandmother chuckle? You don't think it's embarrassing to have Shay Sade's white friend look crazily and say she would try to put hands on Cynthia G, hearing Cynthia G talk about abort black male babies? And no, Chrissy, you did too much damage. You can't try to pull back with occasionally bringing on white men like Zach to tell black women calm down with the neo-Nazi talk. No, you got to go way harder than that. Just like how you went hard on black men ain't ish rhetoric, you got to go way harder than what you doing. Every once in a blue moon, try to do damage control. No, you did way too much damage for your little blink and you'll miss it comments. Right? So yeah, the white men, yeah, you're gonna have more and more white men, more and more white women. I've been saying it. Eventually, it's gonna be black women on one side, and it's not gonna be all, but there's gonna be a panel where black women are on one side with black men ain't ish, and they're sexist and they're misogynist, and they don't like us because our skin tone and featureism and texturism. And then there's gonna be non-black people on the other side saying, I don't know if black men are that bad. And do you know how embarrassing it's gonna look? You think bro, the FBI's crawling all over our ish. You think they don't know that y'all hate the fact that y'all black, dear black women? You think they don't know that y'all want to be white women? They know. They know about the hypergamy movement. They know about the level up movement. The femininity schools, etc., etc. They know. They know about you attempting to prey on white men just for the status. So all that you think you doing that's going to be beneficial for black women, and you're going to put the thumb in black men's eye, and it's going to embarrass black men, and you think you're going to elevate past black men? No. White society is going to diddle your little ego and bury your ass, right? And Better You says, and thank you for the super chat. Do you realize what you just said? How much do you have to hate yourself to deny your blackness to be tolerated by a quote unquote superior man? Sick AF, bro. Sick AF. Sick AF. And then their comments and their videos online are so cringy. That slave master challenge crap that some of these young black women were on. Do you understand what you're telegraphing to the world? It's little. You think it's cute and funny now, and you're in your mid-20s, your early 20s. Do you understand what you're telegraphing to the world? Oh, it's not the same when we do it. Black men do this and black men do that. It's not the same when we do it. Because you think because you live in an echo chamber online with other black women. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You think other people actually believe you. You think after you spoke to that white guy and that white woman outside during lunch break on your college or university campus, you think because you spent an hour and a half or 2 hours trying to explain to them how it's different when black women do it and black men do it, and they were like, yeah, I agree with you, Shirley. Yeah, you're right. You think they actually believed you, and when you got up from the table, they didn't think of you like she's crazy AF. You think they actually believed you after you tried to explain to them that black men ain't ish, and yeah, the black men you're around here, yeah, okay, they're cool, but you have to understand how they treat black women. They treat black women like trash, or yeah, they might be cool to you here at school, but you know, back in the black community, they're sexist and they're colorist and they're featurist and they're texturist and they won't build further, they won't protect us and they worship white women. You think you throw insult in the game and you're embarrassing black men. Meanwhile, that same that same white woman is getting D from a black man, and that same white man, quiet as kept, is getting D from a black man too. Right? Okay, we don't got to go that far. His close friends are black people. He has black associates. He chills with black people. He's the weed man to a black man, or a black man is the weed man to him. Right? Don't y'all forget, when it was, how long ago was that? 3-4 years ago? The little 16-year-old white girl that found her way into Roger's channel, asking Raj about and asking the panel about black men and wanting to know what's going on with us, and she had a white boyfriend. She didn't even have a black boyfriend. She had a white boyfriend. She just was interested in listening to what black men had to say. Dear black women, y'all don't, I keep on saying, you don't appreciate the environment you living in. That rah, black men ain't ish, bullet bags, and yeah, that sound nice. You think you saying something, okay. Right? You think you're saying something, okay. Black women, do you understand how many non-black men watch, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels? Do you understand how many non-black men watched Kevin Samuels and saw y'all calling in night after night after night, talking about black men like they're dogs, boiling black men down to walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs? And you think you saying something? No, you know, it's a black man. It's a man's job to provide and protect. The white men don't feel no kind of way about that. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. Do you understand how many white men watched Kevin Samuels and saw y'all? Who wants to be with average anyway, when the vast majority of even white men are average? Right? Do you get it? right? You don't appreciate the environment you're living in. You don't. And this is one random white guy who made this little ass video. You know how many white guys think and feel the same thing? Crystalline Karazin's husband allowed for her to make a whole goddamn career defecating on black men and speaking about how great and patriarchal non-black men are, particularly white men. He let her have a whole career and then divorced her ass. Her whole YouTube career was to spite her black ex-baby daddy. Her black baby dad, her whole career, and her white husband let her get money after money, go on trips, do all of these lectures, everything, and divorced her ass. You're not embarrassing black men, black women. You're embarrassing yourself and other black men, other black women. You're embarrassed. Yo, homegirl with the tattoos from the neck down, that feminist, the white feminist that had whatever she had to say about Roe, she emphasized that this is a black woman who's making up stories about black men. Let me read in between the lines for y'all. Oh, so y'all black women are now saying using Carolyn Bryant type stories about black men. So y'all know that this society is anti-black man specifically. So now y'all too are making up stories about black men to make money. That's not embarrassing to you? That a white woman is saying, "Oh wait, y'all, y'all better be happy Vanessa Bryant got more important things to do." Dear black women, you better be happy Vanessa Bryant got more important things to do. Because if Vanessa Bryant would have been a smaller person, you think she wouldn't have gone after all of y'all that was dancing on her husband's grave? Because he didn't marry a black woman? As if y'all would have held down Kobe Bryant for this long. The vast majority of y'all would have been divorced Kobe Bryant within 5, 6, 7 years. Y'all would have left Kobe Bryant after the scandal with him and white homegirl. Right? Y'all better be happy she ain't petty. But she went after those people that leaked that tape about her daughter and her husband. That crash, oh yeah, she went after them. You better be happy she a bigger person than that. Y'all are too damn loud. Your resentment and your anger at black men for not making you white women, you too damn loud. And dare all of you black women academics, you Kim Fosters, oh yeah, the white women coming for y'all in academia soon too. Mark my words. Loud asses, resentful, angry asses. Right? And no placeholder says the last black pill from BGS was hard to swallow. Man, hey, I'm telling you, this is the era. Oh no, we all need that black pill truth. Right? We all need it. And it's better that you get that black pill truth that's a little bit softer, right? Not as harsh. You're in a better space to be willing to be able to accept it. Right? But dear black women, y'all are too damn loud. Even Yvette, okay, let's get into it. Yvette Carnell, black LGBTQ woman, telling y'all, oh no, don't talk about the black community. This is where the black community is now, right? What happened to the black? Don't say that now. Y'all let 30 years, at least 30 years. Y'all let black men get railroaded by this system and be the sin eaters of America for at least 30 years, and y'all were mums the word. So let me get this right. White women calling y'all out, white men calling y'all out, and black LGBTQ women calling y'all out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's not forget the black LGBTQ women, the butch lesbian women, from a space to us said, oh yeah, we need black men. Oh no, I don't know what y'all talking about. Maybe we don't need them intimately, but we need black men. Uh-oh. Black women are going to wake up and they're going to, they keep on saying, oh, we all we got. Yeah, you're going to wake up and really y'all going to be all y'all got. Other non-black people are not even going to pretend to be allies with you. Right? Your resentment at not being politically and socially white women, you're too loud. Your resentment at black men for not putting you in that position, you're too damn loud. Other people are having a good faith effort, a conversation about men falling out of college and university and the environment that's causing men to not want to go to college and university. Black women, on the other hand, talk about like, well, black men are lazy bums and shiftless and they don't take education seriously, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And how's that our fault? And okay, fine. Well, I'll just date out if I can't find a black man on my level. Latina women, even a handful of Asian women, definitely white women, are having a conversation about, okay, we got to do something about this environment. This is not good. Not black women. Oh no. So yeah, the white man gonna tell you, essentially, you could take your tongue out of my a-hole now. Y'all are too loud. How many times O'Shea Duke Jesse got to cover the little off the wall chick, black woman that worship at the altar of white men? The one that looked like she's off her rocker, because she really looked like she's off her rocker. How many times O'Shea got to cover her? You don't think white men see that? Wait, you don't think white men are paying attention to the fact that they uncle have 3 white kids and he waited till he was in his late 40s or early 50s to take a black woman seriously and maybe marry one? You don't think white men notice that trend in the burbs? Wait, his uncle has 2, 3 white kids, and then he got a big age gap, and then he got 1 mixed kid with this black woman. Oh, and then his uncle does too. You think they don't notice that? You think they don't notice the Eves? Right? And the Meghan Markles? You think they don't notice that? Dear black, you're not doing black men a disservice. You think you are. You're not embarrassing black men. You think you are. Right? You think you are. You're not. And every once in a while, a non-black person will make a blink and you'll miss it comment letting you know they know exactly what you want. Asian women will make a blink and you'll miss it comment. Latina women will make a blink and you miss it. Latina women will talk to you like they could pull your man because they know you. They know your resentment and your anger at him. They know. Y'all are televising. Oh, I could go get me a white man. I could go get me a Latino man. I could get me this. While y'all on these talk shows, these podcasts. Latinas know, they hear you. First of all, they're right next to the black community. If not in the black community, they really know what's going on. They're really in the mix. Forget white women. You're not even defending you're not even defending your position from Latinas because you don't think there's anything to defend. You so don't appreciate black men that you leave yourself out in the wilderness. I said it before. If non-black men are too damn racist for the most part, they're too damn anti-black. Non-black women are too damn anti-black, even if you're gonna try to do the same sex loving thing, but go out of the race. You know what that leaves you? Either with other black women or single and alone. And y'all are so resentful at black men, you don't even defend your position with black men. You're reaching the market cap for being so goddamn loud and anti-black man, being black misandrous. You're reaching the market cap. And as I said, periodically, every once in a while, a white man, a white woman is going to tell you. Right? They're going to say it. And Kev C, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. Y'all are too damn loud, black women. Too resentful, too angry. And you keep on saying that you can, oh, I could do bad all by myself. No, you can't. Actually, as a matter of fact, you are doing bad all by yourself. You're making $60,000 a year, 55, and it don't really mean nothing because you up the yin yang with student loan debt and you buy your goddamn self. Right? And all you got to your name is that little baby Benz or Beamer or Audi you driving. You think you're doing something about getting the baby Benz SUV. Yawn. A CLA SUV. If you don't get the entire hell out of here. Not the CLA, I'm sorry. The GLA. The little baby SUV Benz. What they made just for women like you, not exclusively black women, but just for women like y'all that just need the Benz nameplate. Right? And once again, Kev C, thank you for the super chat. I mean, the super sticker. Thank you very much. Right? And dear black women, not only are you being loud, you're being loud about why you want to date out. Oh, and it's not no lovey-dovey stuff. You straight up saying, I want to date out because black men ain't ish. They don't appreciate my skin tone. They call me masculine, as if white men didn't spend a couple decades defecating on Serena Williams and Venus Williams in their look. If not, white men are not the ones calling y'all apes and monkeys and mannish. If not saying it, implying it, and suggesting it. Right? And for you to then turn around and to say, black men are calling me this type of negative and this type of negative and that type of negative. Right? You're telling the world why you want to date out. And it's usually, yo, I'm looking for a lifestyle. By the way, your prerogative. Nothing wrong with that because other non-black women are too, to be honest. But do you not, wait, you don't think white women are going to defend their position? Wait, you're not going to defend your position with black men because you don't think there's anything to defend. But you think you're going to be loud as hell about why you want to date out, and Latina women and white women aren't going to defend their position? You think they're not going to protect their position with their man? Especially when you're so loud about going to go get their man? Right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And no placeholder says, and thank you for the super chat again, brother. Feminism needed a monster, and it could not be the white man. True. Since white women wanted to avoid the wrath of white men, here comes black women to the rescue. We will sacrifice our men and boys on the altar of feminism. And there you go. And now random white men are telling you, yeah, That might not be so smart. Random white men. Trell. Trell said the no, not Trell. That's not Trell. Sorry, Trell. This one go to Samuel Norton. Samuel Norton said the fetus bins. Jesus, the baby bins. Right? Oh, that was funny, Sam. That was funny, Sam. That was funny. Right? Yeah, that would be these people in there driving. These people in there driving. But yeah, so y'all are being too loud. And you don't think that you should protect your position and defend your position with black men, fine, but these other women are going to. These other women will. And y'all have just an insane idea of what makes a man a man. Who wants to be with average anyway when most men are average? Most men in America are somewhere between that 35 to about 55, $60,000 a year mark. That's where most men are. Have fun fighting for the guy that earns 75 plus. And black women don't want to fight. Oh boy. Wait, you don't want to fight for black men. My bad, my bad. You don't want to fight for black men. But even for white men, y'all don't want to really throw down, right? And we're going to pause right here. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. We're going to pause right here for a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves, right? And we're back. We're back. I really, really need to do. I really need to like do something with this music. I need to put like a intermission song or something. Welcome to South Florida, where people got so much money. You see literal Dodge Ram TRXs everywhere, like they're not $100,000 trucks. Oh, I see Dodge. By the way, for you, those of you that don't know what the Dodge Ram TRX is, it is the Dodge Ram with the Hellcat motor. So yes, 710 or 720 horsepower Dodge truck, like truck, and they're like $100,000. And you see them down here in South Florida, like they don't cost $100,000, like they're $30,000 cars. I promise you, South Florida would give you the illusion. South Florida will make you feel broke for real, but it will also give you a delusion that everybody has money. And yeah, nah, you'll go around the wrong place, right? So, back to the topic at hand. As a matter of fact, let's read Barry Little's comment first. Never interrupt your adversaries when they are making a mistake. Time to let the sisterhood and the divester zealot arm crash and burn. Here's the thing, Barry Little. They will hear me and do whatever they want anyway. Right? Like, and Barry Little, you're not the first to say that, right? Like a couple years ago, I did get a comment from a brother that said, like, Mr. Z, you giving them a heads up. It wasn't you're giving them a heads up. It was like, Mr. Z, stop giving them a warning, whatever. I'm like, you don't really understand the resentment of these sisters. Like, you don't get it. These black women, you don't get it. Like, they are legitimately insane, like almost clinically insane. But they do resent black men that much that they will hear me and be like, whatever. Right? And continue. As a matter of fact, they'll double and triple down on the foolishness just to try to prove me wrong and then embarrass themselves even more. Right? And embarrass themselves even more. Right? It's because this is embarrassing. Especially and this is truly different with men and women. Like, men fiending over women, that's something we know. That's something we're accustomed to. That's right. The rightful order of things. Right? If a woman tell you to crawl out my rear end like that, oh, well, I tried. Or we tried as a group of men, whatever. But it's a whole other business. And let's put it in context. Let's put it in historical context. For the daughters of descendants of slaves, of black slaves, knowing the history of this country, to be fiending over the slave masters, the descendant of the slave master, and then to be very explicit that the reason why they're fiending over the descendant of the slave master is because their brothers, who were also the descendant of slaves, didn't make them the women or equivalent to the women that were the daughters of the slave master. Do you understand how absolutely clinically insane that sounds? Right? Mr. Meach. Meach. Oh my God. Oh, that might be the comment of today. Oh man. And Meat says, fetus bins, if your bins could be taken out with the plan B, humble yourself. Oh. A plan B is taking out the GLA and the CLAs. What about the Audi A3s, the little baby Audis? Now the Audi S3 and the Audi RS3, at least they're fast as hell. They're quick and they're fast, right? Especially modified. Them things scoot. But an A3, oh Meech. And they swear by these little cars, man. If you don't go get your ass a goddamn Camry and call it a day, or the Accord, but you know they gotta feel special, so they go spend a whole bunch of money on a CLA or a GLA, right? Because how many black women are driving around here in BMW X7s or Benz GLSs? The GLS is the big boy. That's the pretty much the S class of the Benz SUVs, right? And this is not about know your place. I am not about telling black people know your lane, know your place, especially knowing black history. But not accepting where you are to move forward and to take those steps. Well, you get here delusional as hell, begging white men to be part of their program, and them telling you no. And I feel cringy when you come around. It's cringy what you're doing, right? It's cringy what you're doing, because dear the black women that are engaging in this, it is cringy what you're doing. It is. And shout out to Indigo for the baby Benz tax. Baby Benz tax. I'm telling you. When you remember in the 90s and the early aughts, it was big body Benz and baby Benz, but not most people don't remember the baby Benz comments. They all remember the big body Benz, right? Y'all remember them saying big body. Y'all don't remember the baby Benz. I remember, right? And back then it was the C class Benz. Now they done made one even smaller than the C class Benz, the CLAs. And the new CLA is not as small, but that first CLA from like 2015-ish, 2016, oh yeah, them things were small. Them things were really small, right? So it's important that we cover this to say, look, the project of standing on black men to elevate yourself, begging white society to take you on, black women, it's failed. It's that simple. It's failed so spectacularly that random white men are telling you to stop kissing their rear end. Stop throwing black men under the bus to appeal to white men. So yes, you're going to have your Vincent LeBeaus. But on the other end, you're going to have white guys like this. Okay, fine. Y'all don't find this white guy particularly attractive. So what he's saying doesn't count. Because, for a lot of people and a lot of women, that's how it go. Well, I don't find you attractive. So what you said don't even matter anyway, because I don't want to pipe. Okay, fine. But that message. And the reason why I'm covering this and I'm giving this sort of warning is to stress, maybe initially it looks like black men take a hit with all of this rhetoric, but dear black women, you're attached to black men by the hip. As much as you try, you kick and scream and yell and moan, and it's not fair, and I want to be an upper middle class or rich or elite white woman, etc., etc. You are attached to black men by the hip. There is no elevating black women in a vacuum without black men. Point blank, period. You've been trying for at the least half a century, and it's failed. Right? It's failed. Right? And grab second gear, I will kid you not. I literally just saw a flat gray, grayish metallic color X7 M, the X750i M whatever. But for the big beamers, they don't call them M7 or MX7 or whatever. It's X7M whatever, right? Welcome to South Florida. I just seen another range pass by. I'm telling you, if you're not from a major city, right, or if you're not from a city where where money is, don't move to where money is and just willy nilly, because it's going to mess your mind up. And you can make the argument that's what's happening too. Black people are largely metropolitan people. Yes, the majority of us still live in the Black Belt in the South, but for those of us that live in the LAs and the New Yorks and the Miamis and whatever, yeah, it will distort your view of money and status. Because you see, and these people are financing these vehicles for the most part, so don't get it twisted. Yeah, even the white folks are, right? Even obviously the Latinos and even the Asians are. But yeah, if you move to a Miami, from Noahsville, USA, your mind would be blown when you just see the access, right? Especially if you live in certain parts of the city, certain parts of Miami-Dade County, certain parts of Broward County. It's just, right? It will blow your mind. You're like, what? A area close to where I work. I promise y'all, I was standing outside and a burgundy Bugatti Chiron passed me. No kidding. Ferrari 458, nothing. 488, nothing. McLaren's, nothing. Just like that. And every car I just listed is a couple $100,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and the Bugatti is a couple million. Right? The Lucid Air Tesla's competition, the Tesla Model S competition, seen it. The Hennessy Mammoth, which is the modified version of the Dodge Ram TRX that I mentioned earlier, seen it, right? Ferrari Enzo, seen it, right? Ferrari LaFerrari, seen it, right? Lamborghini Aventador, seen them. Hellcats, stop playing, right? Durango Hellcat, seen it. Trackhawk Jeep, seen it. All of it, right? So we're gonna pause right here again. Y'all give me 1 second, and I'll be right with you guys. Give me 1 second. All right, everybody, we're back. We're back. We're back. But yeah, so you know, back to the topic at hand, and we'll end out in a few minutes. But it's important that we cover these stories. First of all, black men's image. Secondly, it there is some secondhand embarrassment here because we are attached to black, just like black women are attached to us by the hip. We are too attached to black women by the hip, and it shows a level of dysfunction that shouldn't be public. Now, of course, this is far more embarrassing for black women than it is for black men. Right? It's no question, not even close. But this level, right? This level of cringe and secondhand embarrassment where you have random white men telling you, yeah, you could take your tongue off my butthole. Thank you. Right. And thank you, Anubis, for the well, we'll say super chat, but he got me 2 coffee mugs. Thank you very much. I'm gonna need it. Right. It is cringy, right? And just like we remember the picture of the brother that took the picture where he was proposing to his white fiance, I guess, in a cotton field, and we all got on him for that. Even black men got on him for that. Dear black women, y'all do stuff like that every day when you're begging white men to come and save you from black men. When you're begging non-black men to come and save you from Blackistan. You're essentially doing that. Right? Also, you can try to get back at black men, or so that, okay, fine, it have nothing to do with black men, so you can elevate yourself out of quote unquote Blackistan. Right? Okay, Better You. I just think this is a straight up lie. Better You says, I see Porsches, Lamborghinis, and Ferrari pretty regular around my office. Ain't no goddamn Porsches and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and no Carolinas. Y'all don't even know what that is. No, I'm playing. I am so joking. I am so joking right now. I'm so joking. Right? I'm messing around with y'all. I'm messing around with y'all. Because I know there's a whole lot of, there's money in the Carolinas. Quite as kept. Right? And y'all getting inundated by all the New Yorkers. Right? The Northeasterners said, I think I see some land over there for the cheap. Not anymore. Not when we start moving there. Right? Oh yeah, Better You. My bad, Better You. He said I work in ATL. Okay, that's yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Right? Oh man, D Scott said Z got jokes. Like sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. You got black women over here trying to throw dirt on your name so bad that the people that they're trying to advertise themselves to are like, okay, it's getting a little ridiculous now. It's a little cringy, right? Y'all remember Boondocks with the BET episodes, and it was one BET episode in particular where when the white people walked into the office, they bowed to them, black evil television, and they bowed to the white man. The white men were like, ugh, like, right? So yeah, like that's, dear black women, I know you don't think that's what you're doing. I know you don't think you're coming off like that because you think you're throwing salt on black men's name. Ugh. Sorry to inform you. Right? Sorry to inform you. And Trail says, "Oh, tobacco money and financial services." Yep, that's the Carolinas. You think you throwing salt on black men's name, and you're gonna win that way. Let's be careful. Let's be very clear. We're becoming more and more atomized as a society, anyway. Right? We are becoming more and more atomized as a society, anyway. It's kind of not the environment to be talking crap about black men, especially if you wish to be partnered with a man. Right? And yes, there's some racist or like, you know, racist, but that's not full on goose stepping in the middle of the street racist, not the neo Nazis, right? That yeah, they'll take on a black woman that despises black men, right? And that hides that hatred or that resentment behind some type of feminist lingo. Yeah, there's those white guys, of course. There's not many. Let's just be very clear, black women. If you despise black men like that, you're getting with a white racist man, right? You're getting with the man that has negative views about black people, and the only reason he can tolerate you is because you have negative views about black people too, namely black men, but about black people. If you doubt me, listen to Chrissy's talk. Listen to Chrissy talk. Yeah, I don't. Let me say it again. I don't like you Negroes either. And Negroes wasn't the word she used, right? And once again, Anubis, thank you for the super chat. Yeah. So I covered these things to this morning. I kind of did a twofer, spent the first 15 or so minutes shouting out BGS. And I encourage y'all to go check out that Yvette Carnell clip on her channel, Carnell with a C, where she speaks to, and I don't know if I've ever heard of Carnell with a K, but okay, whatever. I just said it. But yeah, where she speaks to, the plight of black men and why wouldn't black men be courted by the right? What has the left done for them? Yeah, she said it, right? So, so I covered that. And I do encourage BGS, and I might cover if BGS or Dr. T. Hassan Johnson cover it. Mr. Z will try to be on that panel, and if I can't make it on the panel, I'll cover it after the fact. Shout out to those brothers. And I can't believe BGS. I saw it, right? But I was busy at work, and I told myself I'm going to share that video in my community chat, and I might do a stream on it. And BGS, oh non-sleeping ass, take your old ass to sleep, BGS. Right? And non-sleeping ass covered it. I'm like, God damn, BGS beat me to the punch. He faster than me. But shout out to BGS. Shout out to the elder BGS, because he did a great job, and you could hear the heartfelt. You could hear the sentiment in him. You could hear that Yvette touched his feels, right? Touched him in his feels, because she said the quiet part out loud, like, and like BGS said, yeah, you could be black pill, but every once in a while, well, I can't park there. Okay, that's good to know. Alrighty then. So I can't park there, so let's back it up. Back up the car, that is. Pause. Whoa, son. But yeah. So and that's why I covered it also, because I think Yvette just said what needed to be said. It's not like the Black Manosphere hasn't been saying this, but it is something when a woman that's not even associated with nothing we got going on over here, who's LGBTQ, says what we're saying, and makes no bones about it. And as I've said to y'all before, Yvette has said this on stage. What she's saying is nothing new for her, right? So yeah. And shout out to her for this segment. Shout out to BGS for covering it. Shout out to Gender War Lore, who the clip that I have the link in my description, and I'll link BGS's review and Yvette Carnell's video in the description after this video. So just in case y'all want to actually not look them up and whatever. Although we're all subscribed to BGS, so it's like literally right. It'll auto populate once you put BG, his channel auto populate. But yeah, I'll still make sure to put the links in the description. And yeah, so, and once again, shout out to Gender War Lore, whose video I covered. And shout out to him. Yeah, man, look, embarrassing and cringy. And then the video that the young lady put, embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? Better you said. I'm in a Mitsubishi SUV though. I feel like some of the folks with the nice whips be trying to flex when they park next to me. Probably a couple, maybe. Other people, maybe they're not even paying attention. But some, yeah. Yeah. Right. So right with that, we will pause right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Yeah, everybody. We will pause right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. And yeah. So y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God, so y'all don't sound like black male versions of women like this, worshiping at the altar of white women. Wait a minute, the dating divide already told us we don't do that. Well, there you go. Shout out to us as black men. Love, Toyo, love. It's all love. It's all love. Oh, Dr. Thunder. Dr. Thunder says, I am going live 8:30 Eastern time, talking about women keeping women accountable. And there you go. Right? And at River. Shout out to River, right? I guess we could put Yvette Carnell's video in that category too, Dr. Thunder. Women holding women accountable. And that's a LGBTQ black woman, right? Telling y'all, why wouldn't black men be courted by the right? And there you go. Right? So, and Emerald Ed says, Dr. Thunder, I will be listening. So, Dr. Thunder, I will be listening also, right? So, and there you go. All right, everyone. On that note, we will pause right here. Truly, y'all have a great rest of y'all morning, rest of y'all day. Love, peace, and chicken grease. And Mr. Z out. All right, everyone.